Welcome everybody today at the Institute for Advanced Studies and Cooperation. We are very welcome to have here Professor Gustavo Montero, an engineer, a scientist, a renowned international expert in crypto and blockchain technology, as well as finance. Is that correct, Professor?
That is correct, Gabriele. Thank you very much for it.
Okay, and today also we have Denisa Kelle, which is the Institute Managing Director for Blockchain, and Professor Egli Tola, Managing Director for Special Projects. So let's try to dig into the subject. I know Denisa has the first question for you.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello. It's really a pleasure. So I'm going to ask what's most important now for the investors, and what is the issue that is leaving us like sleepless at night. So we have seen a crypto, we are experiencing the crypto winter this time. And June in particular was a very difficult time. So we saw market capitalization from $3 trillion go down to almost $1 trillion. So we saw company who announced layoffs and froze their withdrawals. We saw company who filed for bankruptcy. So some experts are warning that worse may be yet to come. What's your opinion on this? Do you think that crypto it's going to see some light in the end of the tunnel, or maybe all this market and crypto will be in the end a Ponzi sham, like many of experts are telling today?
Right. Well, thank you, Denisa. I think that the first thing that we need to understand is that economic cycles are normal. Economic cycles are anywhere between 3 to 5 years. I've been in the financial markets for over 30 years, seen many of them. This is just another one of them, which has affected all asset classes, the traditionals as well as the crypto ones. And I personally don't see a problem with that. I think that the reflection of what's happening in the markets is the fact that we have had for a while a quite broken financial system that was manifested by the excessive quantitative easing done by central banks, both in Europe, in the US, and in other places. And that has provided quite a number of negative factors globally, and that has affected traditional markets and crypto markets as well. So I don't see this as a problem. I see this as a natural situation in the global markets. And as a matter of fact, digital assets, or cryptocurrencies, what you call it, are really a solution for this world more than a problem. And I can only see them going up again. It's happening, by the way, as we speak today, and the last few days, you've seen
Yes.
the main cryptocurrencies going up. And this will continue simply because there is no solution for our broken global financial system, and cryptocurrencies represent an option for many investors.
Well, that's very interesting. Thank you very much. And I know Egli Tola, he also has a question. Egli, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, will you proceed?
So Professor, first of all, thank you for your time. My question is related to the financial markets in general. You spoke mostly about crypto assets and cryptocurrencies markets, but let's see the situation in a wider scope, I would say. So we know that the pandemic crisis, followed by the effects of the war in Ukraine, have caused lots of economical and financial problems in markets. And typically the financial markets are being hit quite hard. And the situation continues to be unclear, and the people and the economical actors are in crisis, how to say. How do you see the future, the development of these cryptocurrencies markets to go in these circumstances, and of the in general, the financial markets? Are they going to be also in the next months in this crisis, or the future will be better, in your opinion?
Certainly, no problem. I think that we need to go back to basics here. You are speaking about global financial markets. The reality is that since we abandoned the gold standard a number of years ago, central banks decided simply to print money. This is happening in the States today. I think that this morning in the US, they announced a new plan for something like $2.5 billion or something like that. I saw in the news this morning. These monies are coming from nowhere. They're just printed. There's no backing on anything in terms of the financial market. So yes, we have a global problem. Yes, our financial markets globally are in some quite dire problems, and cryptocurrencies and digital assets in general represent the other part of this equation, which is the solution. Let's remember that cryptocurrencies are non-inflationary. If you take just one example, like Bitcoin, which is the one that most people know, this currency only has 21 million coins. That's it. There will never be printed more coins than that. That means these are deflationary assets. Therefore, the future of deflationary assets compared to the future of inflationary assets is quite brilliant. If today you have your assets denominated in euros or dollars, you're losing about 10% of the value of your assets every year, just by definition, just by having them in those currencies, in those denominations. So yes, clearly cryptocurrencies represent an option for investors, which is, in my opinion, much more solid and much more robust than the options that we have on traditional financial markets.
Fantastic. Is that the reason why we see more and more governments, getting interested into the cryptocurrency? I know you are involved also with some legislation. You're involved in working out some problems for the big institutions. It will be interesting also for the general public to understand, that it's not a game that, some private people are playing anymore. It's something, big globally, and it's backed up.
No, it's clearly not a small game. This is quite big. As Denisa pointed out this, earlier on, the value of this industry, the industry of digital assets and cryptocurrencies in particular, is worth $1 trillion today. If you think about the fact that the global value of the economy today, I'm giving current figures, is around $100 trillion, you can only see progression for cryptocurrencies. Now, in terms of governments, absolutely, governments are having a huge trouble dealing with cryptocurrencies, mostly because of sovereignty issues, meaning the following: some of these assets are worth more than the value of the entire GDP of many countries. Therefore, we are looking at a situation where governments are having to deal with it. And as a matter of fact, they're doing something called CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, which are, by the way, not cryptocurrencies. This is centralized assets managed and run by government. Do not confuse that. But they are getting into the digital money environment. And clearly, we're going to see them moving into it. I would suspect that central banks will begin soon having cryptocurrencies as part of their portfolio. Some of them do, by the way, but it's not publicly announced for obvious reasons. Now, in terms of, Gabriele, in terms of your question about countries moving into it, yes, in our firm, in Carter Capital, we're currently advising 3 countries that are trying to do this. El Salvador already did by accepting cryptocurrencies as legal tender. Central African Republic followed them just a couple of months ago. And we have a number of other countries that are doing this. We had the possibility and the honor, to be honest, to write one law in the constitution of one of these countries that is going to be put into law between the end of the year, where basically they're trying to have their entire government functioning based on blockchain technologies. And the logical definition afterwards is cryptocurrencies. Blockchain technology is the vehicle through which we issue cryptocurrencies. So yes, Gabriele, governments are getting very much into it. They're trying to deal with it. There were some news this morning about regulatory environment and regulations in Europe, which is normal. They have to deal with it. They're doing it in a timid way because these are governments. They work very slow. They're very scared, which is normal. But in my opinion, they all end up in the digital assets or crypto assets environment without any doubts.
Yeah, well, I see that also because with the blockchain at the institute now we have some projects also with the military trying to use blockchain to develop a better, energy saving system. So I see blockchain is spilling, from cryptocurrencies to, to digital contract to everything. And it seems a very exciting position where you're standing right now because you can really see, what's going on. And with Carter Capital, I know you're doing a terrific job.